this is not a test. This is the start of the annual purge, authorized by the US government, because they're a bunch of fucking tits. Seriously, this is a terrible idea. Who thought? No, no. This is Screams After Midnight, though. This is a wonderful idea. I'm Peter, and that's Tim over there.
It is my God-given right to appear on this podcast, as granted to me by the new founding fathers. So thank you.
We talk about horror movies once or twice per week. We put out an episode, and we talk about a horror movie. And this week we're doing 2 in 1 episode. You're getting a two for here, yeah. We're doing The Purge and The Purge Anarchy. And the Purge election year might be coming soon. I mean, that's probably quite predictable, honestly. But in this episode, you're getting the first 2. So we need to be up to date. We need to do the first ones first.
Right.
So, yeah, so we're going to do both Purge and the Purge Anarchy. And I think we might have to forgo the usual spoiler-free section, because once we do the first movie, there's no point in going back to spoiler-free. It's kind of weird.
Plus, I mean, is there really that much to spoil? Like, The Purge, you know what you're getting in The Purge.
Yeah, kind of.
I mean, I don't know. I can't imagine people being, too, much into the, oh, no, the storyline is sacred. I don't want to know what's going to happen.
Especially since I'm going to warn you right now, full spoilers for The Purge and The Purge Anarchy from this moment on.
Okay.
So, yeah, we're going to talk about The Purge first, obviously, because it's the first one. Because we're not fucking Memento. We start at the start.
Right.
Right. And Ethan Hawke's in this. Lena Headey's in this. So this has got the more star power, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And they're a family with 2 kids, teenage daughter and a son who's maybe 12 or something like that. I need to let a cat and Tim talk for a minute.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so The Purge, it's a weird movie. Very violent.
I object.
Okay.
No, I don't know. It's a movie that I think has a great idea.
I just said that. Oh no, actually no, that's it. Well, yeah. All right. So say this because this is everyone I know that's seen this movie has probably said the exact same thing that I think you're about to say.
Okay.
So are you gonna say it?
I'll say it.
Okay.
I think it's a great idea. So obviously the premise of The Purge is that one night of the year in America, all crime, it becomes legal for 12 hours, so people can murder and pillage and rape and whatever else, bad things humans do, and it's to get all the violence out of the system. And because of this, crime rates and poverty and everything else is better. We're at a record low for all that stuff. So the movie focuses on Ethan Hawke, his wife, and his 2 kids who are in their big expensive house that has a security system where all the windows get big metal shutters come down and they're all locked in tight so they're safe for the 12 hours. But of course things go wrong. I think it's a great idea for a movie, but the script just completely fucks it over. And it's not terrible, don't get me wrong, I think it's mediocre.
I agree. Literally, I don't think I've met anyone who has said anything differently. Everyone I've ever talked about this movie with, I mean, which, granted, it's not like it's hundreds of people or anything, but everyone that I've talked to about it has said yeah, man, it's such a cool idea. That's a really cool, idea for a, horror movie or a dystopian, crazy future movie. But yeah, just this first one just not executed well.
Yeah, it's I don't even some people think the first one shouldn't have been set in a house. I disagree with that. I actually think starting this, tight and focused, is actually a good idea. It's almost like Alien to Aliens, where you have the first one be just really one thing.
Yeah.
That's really focused on, and claustrophobic, and then the second one opens it out,
Yeah.
And it also makes movies really different. So the first one's set in a house, then you do the second one out in the streets, out there in the Purge,
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm cool with it being set in the house, because I've heard some people say, "Oh, the first one should have just been set outside." I'm like, well, no, because the whole point of the first one is that like all this danger's outside, and they're trying to be safe inside, and it comes to that, like
Yeah.
it comes to them, and but I think the problem is like I think
Is
the characters make a lot of dumb choices, right?
yeah.
Some of the characters are so frustrating, and then once shit actually goes down, so much of it is like the family looking for this one guy who's hiding in their house
Yeah.
until the shitheads who are outside come in, and when they actually do get in, it's like 20 minutes till the movie ends, and it's
Yeah.
like it's just
I
it falls flat.
Yeah, I think it really is just like I've heard that same complaint before about how really should have focused more on being outside and in the city and stuff. But I agree that there's nothing wrong with having it set just primarily in the house. But I think it really should have just been more focused on one thing, because it's like, yeah, you got this guy that's coming into to the house to escape these other guys,
Yeah,
and then
who's only in the house because the son,
right,
decides to, even though he grows up in this world and
yeah,
knows how all this works, thinks it's a good idea to let him in. Like, it'd be one thing if the kid came from our world and didn't know about any of this stuff,
yeah,
but like this is part of the problem with the opening, actually, of the movie, the first act, is that
mhm.
so much of it is like this really awkwardly forced in exposition of like
Oh yeah,
why we're doing this, why this happens. Like, it's constantly on the TV and the news or on the car radio, whatever, where they're talking about the reasons for the purge. And I'm like, if this is a
mhm.
world where this has been happening every year for the last 20 years or whatever,
Yeah.
like it feels like it's
Well,
just constantly on.
yeah, and well, they have like that little like scroll or whatever, text crawl, whatever, in the
Yeah,
beginning, and it's like that's all you need. Like you could just have that, and then boom,
yeah, that was
you're
enough.
you're on
Yeah,
your way. Yeah, but yeah, there's just so much going on, because then there's a whole thing with that guy, and then I, I feel like maybe too it might have not been as bad if it was just like instantly he's in there, and then it's kind of like you know he sides with the family right away. But then it's like you say, like first all of it is trying to find the guy, then they fight him, then they're kind of fighting with him, and then meanwhile these guys are trying to break in, and then at the end you find that then there's this like other people that are like coming after him as well, and it's just
I,
like
I think I think that's a couple of the problems. Right now, I like the whole thing with this. The first guy that comes in, the black guy,
yeah,
who the other people who come want, like they were hunting him, and then I like the idea that by the end of the movie he kind of turns into the hero.
oh yeah, yeah,
Right, I like that. That is actually a really good fucking idea. That is a
yeah.
great idea. But it just kind of they don't. I feel like they had to follow him more and give him more of like a. He should have almost been the main character, almost.
Actually, yeah, that would have been interesting.
That'd have been probably way more interesting, or maybe if not the main character, equal to the family,
Yeah,
so that we see enough of him as well. Because see, by the time he actually pops up at the end to like save them, it kind of
yeah,
feels like I've not seen him in ages. Like,
yeah,
what's he been doing for the last half hour?
yeah,
It's just kind of like weird. But the problem is that the people who come to the house are looking for him. They're not looking for the family.
yeah.
And I think, and there's so much teasing at the start that's really blatant that all the neighbors actually hate them. And I'm
Oh
like,
yeah,
they're obviously going to want to kill them at some point. I'm like, see if they'd been the ones trying to get in the entire time, that would have been probably more interesting, because it'd have been like more
yeah.
of a planned thing.
Mhm.
Um, I think ultimately though, it became really hard to care about a lot of things that were going on.
Yeah. Plus, I don't really find any of the like the characters that likable. Like probably the only guy that I can have really any sympathy for is the homeless man that runs in.
Yeah.
Because at least you feel bad for him. Like oh, they're hunting him. Like he's not even human and
It's like
stuff.
even
But
like we're forgetting his name, even though I forget almost everyone's name when I watch a movie. I don't
yeah,
think you ever even hear his name, like
yeah.
because the bad guys just keep calling him like filthy pig and swine and whatever.
Yeah, and like stuff like with Ethan Hawke and like his family, like I guess his kid is kind of has good morals and stuff. Like Ethan Hawke and like his mom and stuff, like they're all for the purge, like they like it. They're like
Yeah,
maybe they don't actively participate in it, but they like don't see anything wrong with it. And it's kind of
yeah.
like I don't want to like care about these yuppies,
And
these like fucking 1% assholes.
but Joe, the thing is though, it didn't ring true a lot of the
Yeah,
conversations they had about it, because like, see when the crawl came on and like, all the shutters came down, it's like, okay, that's the start of the purge, right?
yeah,
The way they were all sort of sitting there acting as it was happening, it was almost like it was the first time.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like something that we're used to happening every year.
Well, yeah, like the kid's like asking questions about it, like like he just found out about it or
And
something. But
he's not that young where it,
no,
like
yeah,
if he was like 5, I'd get it because he's asking
yeah.
about everything. But
And like
it's
I feel like I could maybe like sympathize more with like Ethan Hawke and stuff if they were kind of like, hey, listen, like we don't like the purge, but this is the way it is. Like if they were kind of like reluctant about it or something, but like no, like they're kind of like he was like, oh, come on, guys, like let's sit around the fire and like during purge and stuff and like
well,
treating it like an actual like holiday and shit.
well, this is the thing. This is the whole like political commentary that's been attempted here.
Yeah,
Is that he's making money off of it, so he's
yeah.
actually quite happy to let it go on. It's a whole. It's very blatant. It's about gun control. Let's be honest. The whole thing's about gun control.
Oh, it's like they beat you over the head like with
It,
the like satire. Like
yeah, it's like it is the least subtle
yeah,
like message ever. And I don't have a problem with the message. The message is fine. Like
yeah.
I am all for gun control. So yeah, sure. But it's just so blatant, and it feels like. So,
But
see, when we get to the point where like they're tying up the guy to hand him outside, and then they look at each other
yeah,
and go, "Oh, look at why did we become this?" And like, you know
yeah.
what? This would be a great moment, like you deciding not to be this. But I just don't really buy like you've had an arc. It just feels out of nowhere. You're
Yeah,
changing your mind. I don't know. Like,
without a doubt. Yeah. Um, and not to mention the scene with the boyfriend in the beginning that kind of comes out of nowhere as well.
well, I would argue it didn't come out of nowhere because
Mhm.
I mean I've seen this before. This is the second time I've watched it, but
Yeah.
the first time I definitely called what he was about to do.
Oh, really?
Because
It's,
it occurred to me that well on this night you can't really trust anyone could just decide to
yeah.
pull out a gun and shoot you if they want to.
Well,
um
like I, I thought like I thought I thought he was gonna do something like messed up, but I thought it was gonna be like I don't know something weirder. Like
like
I don't know.
I think honestly the only time I really got interested and the only part I really like I like some of the setup in the sense that I liked the whole setup of the plot, but I didn't like how it was presented. I
Mhm.
did like the ending. Like I say, I liked him, like the guy who came in, like becoming the hero and like
Yeah.
saving them, and I liked that Lena Headey didn't kill the others and made a point of not killing them and made them stay until the purge was over. Like that whole
Yeah.
thing where they sit there till 7 o'clock, and then they have to live with the fact that they tried to kill her and her kids,
Yeah.
but didn't get to go through with it. Like the fact that she makes them have to live with that is actually kind of poignant, and that's cool. But
Yeah.
at that point, it was kind of like too little, too late. Like
Hmm.
it just wasn't that fun to get through.
Yeah. Definitely agree with that.
And
Mm.
there's also not a whole lot of nice things about it. Like it's just like you've got the creepy robot like doll thing that the kid uses that's got a camera in it, which I thought was just kind of over the top. And
Yeah, like I mean, if you want to have like the kid be, you know, tech genius or whatever that can create these things, that's fine. But like, why does he use like a fucking weird, busted up, burnt baby doll? Like, other than the fact that it looks creepy. Like, I don't. I feel like there's a lot of stuff in this that was kind of like, it's not that much of a point to this, other than let's try to be creepy. Like, did those people really need like weird animal masks and
yeah, those masks felt very like. Especially, do you know what it was? I wouldn't even have a problem with it. Like, I'd buy that they want to be creepy. This is part of the fun for them, is being like these
yeah.
creepy killers. But the
Hmm.
main guy takes his mask off in the first like 10 seconds of seeing the bastard.
Yeah.
So the rest of them keeping the mask on just feels kind of weird. Um, and of course, again you've got all the commentary because it's these rich kids that go to like posh schools who,
Hmm.
and this is why something like the purge is a shitty idea because awful people like this just use it as an excuse to do awful things because they get off on it. That's
Yeah, and it's kind of one of those weird things where it's like, oh, do you think like the only thing that's like keeping people from just like senselessly killing each other is because it's like against the law? Like,
well, actually, it's funny you say that because one of
mhm,
the things I really like about the second one.
mhm,
Not to jump too far ahead, but there's a line towards the end of the second. One of the plots of the second one is that there's
mhm.
government like groups going out and killing more people,
Yeah.
and the reason for it is because the civilians aren't killing enough.
Oh yeah.
So they're having to
True.
like inflate the numbers a bit. to make it look the Purge is more successful. And I actually really like that touch, because to me that was like, that's kind of uplifting. That's them saying that we're not all vicious killers, but we actually, as for the most part, are decent human beings who won't do it.
Yeah.
And I like that touch. That was a nice little thing in the second one.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that.
But in the first one, yeah, like the neighbours just decide, like at the end when they see all the shutters are down, hey, we could go and kill them. And do you know what gets me as well? It's not just that they want to kill the parents, like they're like willing to kill the children, and they want to take turns stabbing the kids.
Yeah, I feel like it was like, and it was kind of like a dumb reason because they were basically saying like, oh, like you sold us all of our security and you got rich off us and stuff and blah blah. And it's like, all right, but like maybe if it was like he was selling you like shoddy security stuff that like didn't work, I feel like maybe that'd be like more plausible and stuff. Like if he was screwing him over, but it didn't seem like that. It seemed like he was just like, well, I mean, yeah, he's making money off you, but that's his job. That's what he does, you know?
Yeah, and he's good at it.
Yeah.
He's a bit smarmy about it, sure, but he's whatever. But again, this is more like satire and metaphors, isn't it? This is
Yeah.
this is saying, oh, attacking the people who are making the money isn't necessarily going to solve the problem. You have to, go about it in other ways. Violence just breeds more violence.
Yeah.
So like, well, again, nothing wrong with that message. It's actually perfect, but doesn't necessarily mean the story is entertaining to watch or.
The thing though, I feel like is like a little bit of a problem though, is I feel like there's probably a lot of people that will watch it and like not get that message. Like there's probably like a lot of people that watch it and it's just like, oh cool, like masks and guns and people killing people and stuff.
And the fact is I really enjoy movies that are like that are just that and are just meant to be like the fun, like carnage for the carnage sake.
Yeah.
But this is trying to be more than that. And the problem with trying to have a message like this is when none of your characters are believable in the choices they're making. Like these neighbours all unanimously are okay with killing these kids.
Yeah.
Like all of them are just okay with that. Like,
and I feel like not so much for this first one, but I feel like the second and third ones.
Whoa. We're not talking about the third one.
I'm not gonna actually like say anything like about the movie, but just like I don't know, it's like like I can still watch them, but it is like a little weirder watching them in this kind of like political climate where like this violence is not like necessarily so outlandish anymore. Like some of it is very believable, which I mean that's not like obviously not the movie's fault or anything. And it's not like it makes it unwatchable for me, but there is like a little bit when I watch it now, just being like kind of like,
yeah, it's kind of, and obviously if what we have described doesn't sound like a horror movie, I mean it still is. It's still very much presented as a horror movie because it's all creepy masks and like dark like silent figures like stalking them in the shadows. Like it's very much presented like a horror movie, even though this could very easily have been an action movie. The same with the second one. The second one is more of an action movie, but at the same time it's still presented where the people who are chasing them are like serial killers rather than just bad guys.
Yeah, it does kind of follow the aliens model.
It does a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually the second one, if anything, if I was to say it reminded me of something, it reminds me more of something like Escape from New York.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you should we go into the second one, or you have anything else to say about the first one?
Do I have anything else to say about the first one? Nah, not really. I think.
Yeah. Are we gonna rate them both together at the end?
Yeah, we'll do that at the end.
Oh, okay.
But nah, I think that's about it. So yeah, the Purge Anarchy, which I had not seen up until this point. I just watched this today for this. So. And I'd heard this was better. I also thought it sounded better just from the premise. Like it's people who are like trapped out in the purge because like, one of them has a car breakdown, and there's actually more characters. It actually follows like 3 different groups of characters that all converge. But
I feel like they're actually like characters that you actually care about and get behind a little bit.
First thing first, Purge Anarchy is a much better movie than the first one. Mm-hmm. Much better. Yeah. It's actually kind of shocking just how much better this one is.
Yeah.
Because Frank Grillo's character, who's kind of like this badass like action guy who's like out for revenge because his son's been killed, who I thought for out the whole movie it was like he was killed on Purge night, and it turned out to
Oh
just be
yeah.
like a random thing. Like it was just like some drunk driver
Yeah.
knocked him over, like randomly. Uh,
Hmm.
which fair enough. We also have the. I actually thought they were sisters at first until they mentioned they were mother and daughter. So
Yeah.
compliments to the mother, I guess, because I thought they were close enough in age that they were sisters. But it's like a Hispanic mother and daughter, and a couple
The
who are
dumbest white couple in the world.
a couple who are
Like
actually in the process of breaking up, but are still like.
this is what gets me about this fucking, if you know the purge is happening, why would you even go out that day? Like, why even put yourself in a position
Where you could
where,
possibly,
yeah, like, if I knew the purge was coming, I would like stock up a week beforehand and like not leave my house for like 4 days straight. Like,
I agree with that. I agree with that. But it's just kind of like you kind of just forgive it because it's set up and like
yeah,
they
yeah.
get trapped out there and
I do like the idea that they're kind of like being hunted by this like specific gang.
grip. Yeah, I like the idea that their brakes get cut or whatever, like or the gas tank
Yeah,
gets stabbed before the purge actually started, so
it's
they
like that
wouldn't
they're
go home.
setting them up for
Yeah,
like a hunt. Yeah.
yeah. Which is sneaky because I'm not doing anything yet. That's still illegal, but no. And of course, it's the two, the Hispanic mother and daughter who get like attacked first. First of all, by their creepy landlord, or well, not landlord, just a neighbor, I guess, who,
Diego, I think
yeah,
it was.
who
Who's a,
clearly who just wants to rape them. That's all he
yeah.
wants to do.
I like to think like the director was like, "Hey, can you just really scream every line? Just really like, just everything is just like this my night."
And uh,
Like,
and they get introduced to this government body of pure SWAT soldier guys who
yeah,
like like come in and take people from their homes, and you get the idea that they're at this apartment building because it's all more working class people,
yeah,
and not like middle class or upper class or whatever. But uh, and this is where everything converges because Frank Grillo sees them getting like hauled out to a truck with this crazy guy with a big minigun,
yeah,
and he's like, he has that reluctant hero moment where he's like, "Oh, just
yeah,
drive, don't do it," and then he has to go out and save them, and
yeah.
they then run into the couple pretty much almost instantly. And this is where it becomes kind of Escape from New York, where they're traveling in hostile like city territory, where all these
Yeah.
dangerous people are around, and I had fun with this movie. Like
Yeah.
it's a really fun. It's probably more of an action movie than a horror movie.
Yeah.
Like it really feels more like that.
It feels like I don't know. Do I want to say like shallow almost, but not like it's not an I don't know. It feels like I don't know like fast food or something where it's like it's enjoyable,
Yeah,
but it yeah maybe is not like
but
the
it's
best for you, but
yeah, it's definitely. It's saying that though, like I cared by the time we got to the end.
yeah,
By the time we got to the end, and Grillo didn't shoot the guy, like he made the choice not to be a killer, even though he could get away with it. When he
yeah,
makes that choice, that hero's journey, and like they're like hauling him off to the police as the music's playing, like I was like, oh, I kind of care. I'm into this.
yeah.
He had a journey, like, and I'm down with this, and there's cool scenes throughout, like when they go to like the old the
The tunnel.
mum's.
Oh,
Oh, the tunnel's good, but like, I'm talking about
yeah.
when they go to the mum's friend from the diner,
Oh, right, right.
and you kind of know, alright, there's no way they're safe here. Like something's going to go down.
Yeah.
Um, and it's kind of like the daughter's boyfriend in the first movie just randomly taking out the gun. But at least here, I didn't see it coming as such,
Yeah.
because I was like thinking, is this a trap for all of them? Like, are they all wanting to purge? Or
Yeah.
but then it was more random when that girl just pulled out the gun, and you got the
Yeah.
context for it.
I like the way it kind of like showed all these different ideas and like different things that people do. Like in the beginning, the mother daughter, their grandfather like decides to basically like sell himself to be
Yeah, to rich people.
sacrificed.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things where it's like, oh, like that's like an interesting idea. Yeah, that is, probably something
Yeah.
that people in this world would do.
There's that. There's also the whole like the satirical element where the government's trying to like inflate the numbers by sending out hit squads to like kill more people.
Right. Yeah.
There's that idea. There's the whole idea that people are like paying groups of people, because the other group that's hunting the couple are actually just people that are paid to deliver it to richer
Oh,
people,
yeah.
so that they can like auction them off and have like this weird like hunt, or like
Yeah.
a private hunt just for rich people. I thought that was interesting. I thought it was a cool section of the movie. And then this whole idea of like this militia who are like fighting back because they think the purge is
Yeah.
an awful idea, led by Omar from The Wire, and including the guy from the first movie, the hero, which I thought was a nice touch.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
I
I'm pretty.
didn't really put that together though.
Yeah,
So
see
yeah.
the first guy that comes in,
Oh, that was him.
in the scene where they all storm the like the you know the hunt like
Yeah.
place. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure that guy who first talks to them is the guy from the first movie.
cool.
I mean, I
I
think
really. Oh,
maybe
sorry.
maybe I noticed it because I watched them back to back today.
Yeah, like I watched
But
the
like
first one like yeah, like earlier, like towards the end of last week, and then the other
yeah,
one last night. But
but I'm pretty sure that was the same
um,
guy.
yeah,
Maybe I'm making this up, but I'm pretty sure that was the same guy.
that's a cool little nod. I did like that scene where they start fighting back against all those rich people. Just seeing like how flustered like that fucking
Yeah.
rich lady
Oh,
gets.
when
Like she, it's like they're fighting back. Like yeah.
well when he grabs her out the car outside,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and he's like, "Yeah, fucking remember my face, you piece of shit."
Like that's I think that's one of the things that I like a lot more of this movie as opposed to the last one, where it's like, you do have that satirical element, and it's like, listen, if you're gonna do this, it's gonna be a lot more satisfying if you see people, you know, taking out the bad guys, taking out these rich assholes and stuff, as opposed to like, you know, the first one where it's just kind of like this middle class family. Well, I mean,
I mean,
they're
yeah,
richer than that, but
yeah, they do fight back and they do kill a lot of the bad guys, but it's not as satisfying as this. And it's partly because I care more about the
yeah,
characters, so I care that they're in
yeah.
danger, and then I care when they get to fight back. And I think Frank Grillo's a really cool badass hero. Like,
Oh, definitely, yeah,
so like I enjoyed him, and I enjoyed the mother daughter more so than the couple. But I mean, they were all reasonable enough. I cared. So that was all cool stuff, and you felt like they bonded, and it felt like that escape from New York, that almost like a one night in hell kind of feel, where they're going through all these different things, like even something like the Warriors, where it's all one night in the city, and there's like all this like hostile territory, and they have to like sneak in, whatever to get through it, and at the
yeah,
end of the movie, they finally get to the destination that they were going to, which was Frank Grillo going to like kill this guy.
yeah,
Like all of it was. I don't know. I had fun. I thought it was a really good action movie. As a
yeah.
horror movie, it's like, yeah, there's some creepy enough moments where there's like guys with masks chasing them, and there's like things like that. But it became more of an action movie. We're still going to do the third one,
Yeah.
don't worry. But like I can understand the argument for saying it's not really a horror movie. It's more of an action movie.
Yeah, definitely. Um, have you ever played that game Manhunt?
No.
Okay, I've never played it either, but it reminds me of this just from screenshots and stuff I've seen. I was just curious if it was any similar. But
I
all
not played
right,
it. So no, no, I like the second one.
yeah,
Quite
yeah,
a bit actually. I was actually kind of surprised. Like I put it on and I wasn't really caring, and as it was going, like, and even from the start, even just the setup, but it was like introducing you to all the three groups of characters.
yeah.
Because I felt like I was getting like a sense of the whole city and like different pockets of
Hmm.
people, and
It
like I was looking forward to them all coming together, and like it was just more interesting from the get go.
Yeah, it's perfectly watchable. It's which probably doesn't give it enough credit, but I mean, I just mean that it's something where it's not like, oh man, like I'm jonesing to watch this again, but it's one of those things where if it's ever on, I'd be more than happy to watch it or sit down and watch it for a little bit. And this is probably my third time seeing it actually, because I feel either second or third, and it is still pretty entertaining.
No, it's good. I mean, the funny thing is that I never even rushed out to see it because I was so meh on the first one,
Yeah.
so I never seen it at the cinema.
Mhm.
Uh, but no, it's good. I mean, I think I might even like it a bit more than you. Like, I think you could easily ignore that first movie and just watch this, and
Oh yeah,
because
definitely.
obviously it's set in the same world because you've got the Purge things, and then that one character shows up, and I like that idea that he joins this group that's against the Purge after that hell that he went through that night.
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool little touch. Uh, but no, so that's the Purge Anarchy.
Okay.
Uh, Election year is coming. We'll be doing that very
Mhm.
soon. Might even be the very next episode you see.
Mhm.
So yeah, look forward to that. But that leaves ratings. So, biscuits out of
Biscuits.
10.
All right. So the first one, this one's kind of a toughie because, again, it's not that good, but like you said, like it does have some good ideas, and I don't know if you want to look at it as set up for this next movie, which was good. Um, Struggling between like 4.5 and a 5. I'll I've been happy lately. I've been in a good mood, so I'll give it a 5. I think you might have even mentioned it earlier. It's kind of just right down the middle, and yeah, that's I feel like
Yeah,
that's a
I
decent
like.
place.
I don't think the first one is like a terrible movie. I just think it's
Yeah,
everything about it feels like a missed opportunity. Like it's just not that good, but it's not bad either. It's just kind of there.
but that's almost like that's a negative thing, but it's also kind of like a compliment. Like it's a lot better than just saying like like, oh, this is shit. Like, at least if you're watching it and being like, ooh, that could have been good, that could have been good, then it's like, oh, well, that's I mean, it's better than like bad, I guess.
Yeah, they just focused on the completely wrong things in the script. I think the script for the
Yeah.
second movie is much better.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm inclined to agree and go with a 5. Maybe yeah. I'm almost tempted to bump it to 5.5 just for the interesting stuff in the ending.
Okay.
But it's very
Yeah.
middle of the road. Nah, I'll go with 5. I'll go with 5.
Okay.
The second movie though, Timmy.
All right. Yeah. Again, like we said, a lot better than the first one. You might have liked it a little bit more than me, but I definitely don't want to come across as not having liked it. I actually did enjoy it a great deal. It's just it feels like a little. I don't know. Again, like I don't know. Fast food is like the best way I can compare it. I'm kind of like thinking like 7.5, but again, since I'm feeling happy today, I'll go 7.5.
Uh, and this keeps happening, but you keep saying that you're not liking it as much as me, and then you give it the exact same number I was going to give it.
Yeah.
Nah, 7.5 for me. I don't think I like it enough to give it the 8. Like,
Yeah, that like 8. I don't know. I'm trying to be a little harsher with my scores because I feel like I don't know. Sometimes I feel I give out too many like 8s and 9s. So it's yeah, like there is something about an 8 though. Like you just like there's a certain level like to an 8 where like sometimes like 7.5 can kind of be a little murkier. I don't know.
aye, sure. Yeah, you're far. I mean, what would you give like Hellboy, Tim?
Uh, Infinity.
See, like we
That would just
say,
like that'd be one of those things that would just like go like it would go on to the scale up to 10 and then just like break through it and you'd be like, oh, there's numbers higher than 10.
yeah. So if you ever
Yeah.
wanted an example of Tim being far too generous with scores, then just look at the Hellboy movies because Tim overrates them like nobody's business.
All I heard was look at the Hellboy movies.
For me, it's like for me that's a solid pair of 5.5s.
Yeah, that I mean that would like if you died and like you would go to cinema hell for that. That would be which
Oh,
ironically
Timmy.
would be ruled by Hellboy. So
Sure. That's been the Purge and the Purge Anarchy. Election year is coming soon.
well,
Basically,
Pete, you never answered
basically, I need to go see it.
the question I didn't ask you.
Well, oh, shame on me for not answering a question that you never actually asked me.
I was gonna ask you if you could purge, would you, and what would you do?
Oh, um, no,
Okay, yeah.
no. I mean, oh, I wouldn't want to hurt anyone, so because I'm nice like that. Uh,
I would do it, but I would just like download mad movies, just like download everything.
I was going to make a note of everything I want to pirate, and I'm going to pirate it all on one night on the Purge. I hope my internet speed can hold up because
Yeah.
I've got plans for that night. Hack, I don't know. I mean, nah, there's no. I mean,
There's never anyone you thought of
killing.
wanting to take out. No one maybe in another country far from you talk to on a regular basis.
There's like 6 people you could be talking about right now. I'm not sure who it is, but hey, like, I actually wait a minute. Zack Snyder.
Oh, there you go.
I would kill
Actually,
Zack Snyder on a Purge.
Oh, actually, I would love to see that like as like a Purge spin-off movie, just like a group of dorks just like going after like all the like shitty directors and stuff they hate.
Oh god. That would be amazing. But yeah, that's this episode of Screams After Midnight. You can let us know what you think of the Purge and the Purge Anarchy in the comments below on YouTube, or you can tweet at us at mailed_fuzz. Or of course, I'm at Wibble89. Tim's at Tim Vargulish. And yeah, check out the other stuff we do. Regular movie stuff, 1.21 gigawatts. Go over the Mail Fuzz TV channel for all the almost cancelled TV reviews, and the DC Comics podcast, Comics from the Multiverse. That's it. I'm too tired. Actually, no. One more thing. Check out our friends over at Ron's Reviews. Yeah, they do written content. They do movie reviews and albums and concerts and stuff like that. So check them out. There'll be a link in the description. And no, I think that's about us.
Yeah, make sure to like facebook.com/goatmancomics for all my comic book stuff too. So
If you've got time, that's not a priority. Check out all the other stuff I said. Also, check out, if you go to Facebook and search for Mailed Fuzz, you can find the Mailed Fuzz Facebook group, in which both me and Tim are active members and talk to everyone, and along with everyone else, and we talk about pretty much everything in there. There's ongoing comics thread, an ongoing video games thread, lots of movie talk and TV talk, and everything else. So yeah, come join us there too if you would like. But no, that's us. That's been Screams After Midnight one more time for 2 more movies. Anything else you'd like to add, Timothy?
Nope.
Good. Make sure you stay to the end to see Tim's drawing as the closing music plays out. But with that said, guys, thank you very much for watching and or listening. Keep watching scary movies, and whatever you do, don't purge in the dark.
Ooh, that's a good one.